Yesterday, I sat overlooking two guys talking in the gym, and one guy was saying to the other one, "Oh, dude, I'm not getting the results I want. I'm not gaining weight, I'm not getting stronger. It's just not working." And the other guy, who was the more experienced, the more fit looking one, said to the other guy, "Well, are you eating enough?" And then the other guy said, I don't have the time, I don't have the energy. It requires a lot of my time just to cook. And I've got this new job and I'm working 10 or 11 hours a day." And the other guy just stopped him, shut him down, and interrupted him. And he said, "Dude, you're just so full of excuses. You're not going to get anywhere like that." This is an idea that I call shutting down your number one. The number one is whatever your number one excuse is, stopping you from losing weight, getting fitter, and honestly just living a better life. Now in today's video, we're going to talk about how to figure out what your number one is and how to shut it down for good. What's up, ladies and gents? This is Alex Hine over at modernhealthmonk.com. So this idea of your number one excuse, the story you tell yourself, the idea of the narrative, something I talk about in my book, is absolutely huge. Now, I've spoken with hundreds of my own students, tens of thousands of emails I've answered on my website, and a lot more through people that have joined my programs and have been my coaching clients. And consistently, I've found that each of us tends to have one main thing holding us back, whether it's some kind of mental excuse, time, energy, not knowing what to do, just trying to squeeze it all into a busy schedule. Most of us have one thing that repeatedly comes up. Now, the reason why it's so insidious, why it sneaks in our schedule, is because a lot of the time, it's actually somewhat legitimate. If you work 10 or 11 hours a day, or if you're a single mom, or just a mom who works and takes care of the family, you do have a lot less time than the average person. If right now you don't sleep enough, maybe you're kind of unhealthy, maybe your daily life doesn't inspire you, you really may not have a lot of energy compared to someone who is the opposite of that. Maybe you're just getting on the path to wellness and losing weight and feeling better after a decade of not doing anything, and maybe you don't know what to really do to get back on the path. But the reality is that once you figure out the main thing, the main story you tell yourself, "I'm so tired today, I'll do it tomorrow. I don't really have time to cook, I'm just gonna go out." Once you figure out what your one thing is, and then you systematically figure out how to destroy it, once there's no barriers, it's easy to take action every single day and get the results you want. So in order to do this, there's really two steps. The first is to figure out what your inner dialogue is. The narrative, the story we tell ourselves, occupies really the first third of my book for a reason, is because I can give you what to eat, the exercises to do, but 99% of people, given the perfect information, will still not see the results that they want or that we want. And the reason is that the inner game, getting discouraged, getting off track, is just as important as knowing the facts. So for a week, what I want you to do is just track the thoughts that come in your head surrounding when you have to cook, when you need to go to the gym, when you need to avoid the junk food and eat the healthy food. When you don't do that, what is the reason you tell yourself? Is it a time thing? "Oh man, I got out of the office late today. It's 6:30 already. I got to get home. I got stuff to do." Is that your reason for not going to the gym after work? What about first thing in the morning? You know you should create maybe a green smoothie today instead of going and getting that bagel at work. What's the reason for not doing it? Is it, "I don't have time for this"? Is it, "I don't really know what to put in it"? Is it something else? When you track every single day the main reasons that you don't do the positive habits you know will get you to where you want to be, you're going to see a trend. And the trend is basically whatever the story is, the narrative, or your number one, as I call it. Now, step two, once you know what the narrative is, I'm a huge fan of using affirmations to kind of rewrite that. So let's say the main reason you're not cooking breakfast, going to the gym, and meditating in the morning is because of lack of time. You tell yourself, "I don't have time, I've got a lot of stuff on my plate right now." And it may be true to a certain extent. What I like to do is morning and evening, I write out the exact opposite of really all my excuses. So if I keep telling myself I don't have time to work out, to eat right, to make a breakfast or a green smoothie in the morning, I write down my schedule is busy, but I have more than enough time to create a breakfast, to go to the gym even if it's half the time I want, and do all the things to help me lose weight and feel better. I actually write them on paper, review it, say it in my head or out loud every morning and then every evening. And you'll find that Over time, as you gradually address whatever your big barrier is, whatever your big objection is, gradually over time, when you repeat this to yourself, you're basically going to have fewer excuses. You're going to plow through that your number one excuse, your number one narrative or story, and you're going to find yourself bit by bit becoming a lot more consistent. So your tiny habit for today is simple. Number one, figure out your number one by tracking the narrative as you go about doing the habits that maybe you're procrastinating on. And then number two, writing these affirmations to counter the negativity, counter the barrier, and then do them regularly each morning. So I hope that helps. If you're on YouTube, make sure you go on over to modernhealthmonk.com. I've got a free guide there on losing your next 10 pounds, the exact 5 habits you need to know. And if you like this daily habits approach, check out my book, Master the Day, on Amazon.com. If you like my videos, the best way to pay it back and say thank you is to leave a review there. And make sure you click the monk dude right there to subscribe. You get the next video right when it's out, and I'll catch you next time.